I sat in a courtroom in Stamford, moments away from losing my son, as my ex-husband's attorney delivered a statement he had clearly refined to perfection. According to him, I was financially ruined, emotionally unstable, and incapable of giving my child a proper home. Judge Merritt responded with the kind of measured nod that can alter a person's future in an instant. I kept my palms pressed against the table and focused on breathing the way my grandmother, Ruth, had always taught me. Tell the truth slowly. I didn't cry. Instead, I looked toward my 7-year-old son sitting in the gallery and wondered whether he realized the odds had already been stacked against us before the hearing even began. A year before that day, I was still married to Gavin Reed. He operated a network of rental units and small commercial properties through a company that few people outside his inner circle seemed able to explain. I worked in estate planning, earned a respectable income, and understood enough about financial records to recognize when a wealthy man was hiding behind a polished smile. Our son, Owen, moved between our two lives like a small bridge held together by stickers and custody schedules. He loved drawing rain clouds, buses, and dogs exactly as they appeared in real life, never improving them or making them prettier. Then one day I discovered a loan document inside the safe at our house. It was for $180,000, signed by Gavin and issued to one of his golfing friends, a man who had never done any work on Gavin's properties. When I confronted him about it, Gavin simply smiled and told me I didn't understand how business worked. That was the first moment I heard something fracture inside our marriage. By winter, I had moved into a modest apartment with a narrow hallway and a window overlooking a parking lot. Owen nicknamed it our checkerboard view. Every Tuesday and Thursday night he stayed there, earning a gold star each time. I attached those stars to the refrigerator and repeated Ruth's favorite advice whenever life felt unfair. Tell the truth slowly and make them wait. One afternoon, Gavin's mother, Carla, stopped by carrying boots, sweaters, and a smile that felt as sharp as broken glass. She had once practiced family law herself. She surveyed my apartment as though she were assessing its market value, then casually remarked that some women simply weren't made for conflict. I smiled politely and noticed the yellow legal pad sticking out from her tote bag. Not long afterward, my sister Lena called and, with suspicious casualness, asked whether I could truly afford both the apartment and legal representation. We had never shared a close relationship, but something about the question felt wrong. The following week, Gavin's attorney began a meeting by asking how much money I earned and whether I could prove that I adequately provided for Owen. I said very little. There wasn't much point. They had already decided what story they intended to tell. What I couldn't ignore was a comment I overheard in the hallway outside the lawyer's office. Gavin was speaking with his attorney and said they would start with the financial argument. Then he repeated a line word for word, the same line that would later be used in court. I was broke. I couldn't even afford food or clothing for the children, and therefore he shouldn't be expected to trust me with custody. Children, plural. There was only Owen. It was carefully rehearsed cruelty disguised as truth. 2 weeks before the hearing, Owen climbed into my car after spending the weekend at his father's house and calmly told me that Gavin stored important papers behind a movable bookshelf. He said he had once crawled back there while looking for a toy and noticed a folder labeled with Gavin's company name. I didn't press for details. I only asked whether he had taken anything. He shook his head and went back to eating crackers. Meanwhile, my heart pounded so hard I could feel it in my throat. I contacted my boss, who introduced me to a forensic accountant. After reviewing what I described, she explained that Gavin was probably concealing income through his company while paying himself only a small salary on paper. There was no simple way to prove it before the hearing, but she agreed that something wasn't right. Then, on the morning of court, everything changed. Owen stood up in the gallery, gripping his backpack with both hands, and asked whether he could show the judge a letter he had found in his father's safe. The entire room went silent. Judge Merritt allowed him to come forward. Inside the backpack was a folded memorandum written by Gavin's attorney. It outlined a strategy to dissolve the company after the divorce and protect millions of dollars from being included in the division of assets. The judge read it once, then again. Finally, he looked directly at Gavin. The expression drained from Gavin's face. What had begun as a hearing centered on my supposed financial instability ended with an emergency audit, temporary custody awarded to me, and supervised visitation ordered for him. A few weeks later, the accounting investigation confirmed exactly what my son had unknowingly exposed. Gavin had concealed more than $2 million. The court revised support payments, and his attorney withdrew from the case. Lena sent an apology through a text message. Carla stopped reaching out. An inheritance from Ruth helped me purchase a small condo in Norwalk, and Owen painted his bedroom the same color as his rain jacket. The gold stars are still on the refrigerator, but now they represent something far greater than simply getting through difficult days. They remind us that we told the truth slowly, and it was enough.